pork tenderloin with the Dijon cream sauce. That's what's on the menu for supper tonight. I'm Clint, and I like to cook. You guys come along with me. We'll get supper started. So I've got two pork tenderloins, and I've trimmed most of the fat off of them, and I've patted them dry. And I'm just setting them on this oven pan for right now, and I'm going to set them off to the side because the first thing we've got to do is we've got to make a dry rub. So I'm going to take some salt and pepper to taste, put that in a bowl. I'm going to take a teaspoon of dried oregano, a teaspoon of rosemary, I've got a teaspoon of dried thyme, a half a teaspoon of onion powder, and a half a teaspoon of cumin. Now what we want to do is just kind of blend that together. Just mix that around there. Now what I want to do is I want to take those spices that I mixed up, and I'm just going to start sprinkling that on those pork loins. Do the top, bottom, sides. I'm just going to try to get a good even coat on that best I can. Just about like that. And I want to just kind of roll these around, and I want to kind of push that down into the meat there. Just kind of get that in there. It'll look about like that right there, just a little bit of seasoning on them. All right, we're going to go ahead and set that off to the side. In the same bowl that we had the spices in, I'm going to make a glaze. So I'm going to add a tablespoon of olive oil, a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, a tablespoon of soy sauce, and a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And a tablespoon of honey. And we just want to give that a good mix. And that smells good. Just mix that until it's well blended. Alright, so I've set the glaze off to the side. Now what we want to do is we want to take the pork tenderloins and we want to sear them in a skillet. So I've got my skillet hot with a little bit of olive oil in there, and I'm going to set them down there and I'm going to sear them. I'm going to let them, we're not going to cook these all the way through. We're just searing the outside of them. So basically, I'm going to let them sit there for 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'm going to flip them and then keep turning them until the outside is completely seared. What you want to do is just keep rotating the pork until all sides have been seared. I've got a pretty good sear on the loins, so I want to take these out and transfer them to a baking dish. So I've got a glass dish here, just lightly greased. Get those transferred. You can see that Looks pretty good there. Now what I'm going to do is take that glaze that we made, and I want to put that over the top of these. Put it over the top, about like that, and then I'm just going to rotate that around. And then we're going to hit the other side with that. And that glaze smells delicious. Alright, so we've got that on there. Now we're going to put it in the oven. I've got the oven set at 375 degrees. I'm going to put that in there and I'm going to let that cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then I'm going to turn them over. And then I'm going to let them cook until we get an internal temperature of 145 to 150. So with the pork being in the oven, we're going to go ahead and make our cream sauce. So I'm going to use the same pan that I seared the tenderloins in. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to let that start melting down. And what you want to do, take your wooden spoon and you want to scrape anything that was on the bottom of that pan off, because that's going to add to the flavor of this cream sauce. You're going to have some spices left over and stuff like that from searing, which is fine, no problem. That's just going to add to the flavor of everything. Now this sauce, you don't want it to get real hot, just cook it on a low to a low medium. So we're just basically waiting for that butter to melt down. And I'm already starting to pick up spices off of the bottom of the pan, scraping those off, so that's kind of what we're looking for. Alright, now I'm going to add 2 cloves of freshly minced garlic. And I want to kind of cook that till it's translucent and you've kind of got all the flavors mixed in there. Oh, it smells good. The aroma of garlic just smells wonderful. So we're going to let that cook in for about 2-3 minutes or so. Alright, so I just checked the temperature of the tenderloins, and they're about 145, so I'm going to go ahead and get them out. Ooh, does that not look delicious right there? Now what I want to do with them is I want to take those and I'm going to put them on a cutting board. So I'm going to transfer them over to the cutting board and I'm going to let them rest for just a few minutes. And we're going to continue making our cream sauce. So we'll let those rest for a little bit. Alright, our garlic is cooked in with the butter on the, we're making the cream sauce here. So now I want to add a teaspoon of lemon juice. We'll just kind of stir that in there. Oh, that smells real good. Give that a good stir. Alright, we're going to add in a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. And we just want to continue stirring that so it doesn't burn on the bottom. We're going to add a tablespoon of some Dijon mustard. We'll stir that in. This sauce is easy to make, guys, and it tastes delicious. And I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of dried thyme. I wish y'all could smell that. All right. That's getting about right. This is going to thicken up just a little bit. Now, if it does get too thick on you, you can always just add in a tablespoon of water at a time until it thins it out. Right now, this looks pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and shut the heat off on that because that's pretty much done. We just wanted it to warm up. All right, now what I want to do is I want to take my loin and I want to slice it into about 3/4 inch pieces, an inch, however thick you like it. This is so tender. If you'll get that pork out at the right time, it'll be tender, easy to cut. It won't get tough on you. Now what I want to do is I want to bring it back over here to my dish. And I'm just going to lay that on there like that. Boy, it's talking about some juices are rolling. All right, that's got one of them. Let's go ahead and get this other one cut up here. I like a good tenderloin. I like to grill it, smoke it, fry it. There's all kinds of different ways you can cook a tenderloin and make it turn out good. Y'all let me know if you like tenderloins. I'm sure a lot of you do. It's hard to beat them. Let me know how you like to cook yours. I'm interested in hearing how people prepare their dishes. All right, we got that laid in there. Now what we want to do is take our sauce that we made. We want to go right over that. Just about like that. And we're going to reserve just a little bit to top it when we put it on the plate. Boy, does that not look delicious. And there you have it, guys. Hope you give this recipe a try. It is super delicious. It's easy to make. And I know you're going to enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless.